Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Johnny Consciousness. I'm your host, John Moore, and we'll just get right to it. Today's a little bit different episode. I'm kind of going into current events, namely the drones. It's all over the news. DOD released something today, and by today I mean December 14th, 2024, Saturday. But before I go into what they issued, I asked Spirit through tarot if these were actual non-human intelligence drones or craft that is flying over New Jersey and other areas in those bases. And the tarot said maybe. So I flipped the question and asked, well, is it human? And I got again a maybe. So then I asked, is it a mixture of both? And for those of you who don't know tarot extremely well, especially with yes or no questions, you usually get two aces is a strong maybe. Well, I got two aces and a strong, which was a strong maybe. And then the last card I drew to the question was this one, the Magician. Magician trumps everyone. The aces. It's not only a yes, it's like a hell yes. So, what does that mean? Well, the way I intuit, I think both the non-humans who are a mixture of good, bad, and neutral. Who knows? Maybe one or all of them are working, hand in glove with our government because our government wants all their tech. So perhaps what we're seeing is indeed some NHI crafts along with perhaps human craft built with back engineered tech, and they both want the same information because non-human intelligences for all their advancement. Some speculate they could be billions of years old. I'm not going to go into all that, but my point here is they're just like us in that we're not omnipotent. Neither are they. They might have a strong idea how people might react with seeing these crafts fly over their state or over their nation's military bases that are sworn to protect us and supposedly have air superiority and can protect us from anything in the air, sea, whatever. So they're not omnipotent and they want this information too, and that's what a lot of so-called experts are thinking, that maybe this is some sort of psychological operation, psyop, to gauge the reaction of the American people. In particular, right now, the people of New Jersey, who this is affecting the most. And if I reach anybody out there in New Jersey, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this. But Spirit seems to be indicating to me that's a combination of both, and they're after this information, which also opens up a whole lot of other questions. So, what are they going to do with this information? And I'll leave that for another day. I don't even know if I'll address it again, but it is food for thought. And I just wanted to read some of the stuff and just give you my own opinions on this. Whatever you want to call this, from the DOD. The headline reads, Joint Staff Addresses Drones Over New Jersey Military Installation. In recent weeks, a number of drones have been sighted over New Jersey, prompting concern and thousands of telephone calls to report them. Remember that, thousands of telephone calls to report them. A little further down the article, it says a spokesperson from the Joint Staff acknowledged that there had been sightings of drones over 2 military installations in New Jersey, but said such sightings are typical. Really? Typical. So, a typical event prompts thousands of telephone calls. That's typical. This is the military industrial complex, whom I refer to as MIC. This is them trying to pull the wool over our eyes by lying to us directly. One hand, this is typical. On the other hand, it's prompting thousands of phone calls. Well, which is it? The spokesperson for DOD went on to say, "This is not a new issue for us. We've had to deal with drone incursions over our bases for quite a time now. It's something we routinely respond to in each and every case when a reporting is cited." That's a whole lot of words, in my opinion, saying a whole lot of nothing. But again, this is coming from Mick, so take it for what it's worth. A little further on in the article, it says, right now, the FBI, DHS, FAA, and DOD have been unable to determine who is responsible for flying the drones. And there's no indication that there are adversary nations involved. Notice how they call these craft drones. These are unidentified aerial phenomenon. You can call them drones to the cows come home. It doesn't make the statement true. The only part of this statement that is true is there's no indication that there are adversary nations involved. And they know that for a fact, because they know what kind of tech is flying up there, because they have some of that tech and they're flying right next to NHIs who are most likely in control of those craft. That's what Spirits told me. A little further on in the article, which I just found almost laughable, and I don't mean laughable in a funny way. Laughable as in really you think we're that stupid? So here we go with let them eat cake. Whatever. I'm mixing my metaphors or whatever, probably. Anyway, the spokesperson said the military has limited authorities when it comes to conducting investigations off of military installations in the United States, and is prohibited from conducting intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance operations in the U.S., which might be used to determine the origins of who might be flying the drones. Again, a mixture of truth and lies. I do believe it's true that the United States government is prohibited from conducting surveillance and reconnaissance operations in the United States, but not from conducting intelligence. They do it all the time. What was Operation Grudge and Operation Blue Book back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s that the U.S. Air Force had going, supposedly to explain all the reports of UFOs back in the day? They were investigations to try and discover what people were seeing and where perhaps they might have been coming from, etc. Who, what, where, when, why, basically. And their best conclusion, or their most infamous conclusion of a Michigan UFO sighting was that that what people were seeing were not a craft. They saw swamp gas. Just insulting the intelligence of everyday American people. It's enough to make one's blood boil. At least mine. Uh, the spokesperson went on to say, um, those military installations have good relations with local law enforcement who can conduct investigations off the installation. What military, what, excuse me, what police force is trained, equipped, whatever, to investigate UAPs, not drones, UAPs flying in the sky over military installations and one of the homes of our president-elect of the United States of America? It seems to be, to me, an intimidation tactic. Um, Intimidation, why? They can't interfere with these drones. For whatever reason, I say drones in quotes, for whatever reason, they haven't even tried to shoot them down. Um, they seem to indicate that they've tried some electronic measures that failed. Well, they failed because if they're using electronic measures to bring down, an off-the-shelf drone somewhere. Of course, it's not going to work. And again, it's insulting to the American people. You should be insulted um, that they're throwing this crap at us. The last paragraph of the article says, I guess this is the spokesman still speaking, the main point is to deter the activity using some of our electronic means that can respond to most of these small commercial systems and deny them access to airspace over our bases. I just addressed that, so I'll leave it at that. And then the spokesperson went on to say, we don't know what the activity is. BS. They know exactly what the activity is because they're right in the middle of it, at least according to what Spirit told me. The NHI, at least whatever NHI they're working with, they're working together on this possible PSYOP experiment with the people of New Jersey and at large the people of the United States and even people of the Earth. And the spokesperson had the nerve to say this. We don't know what the activity is. I already addressed that. They know. We don't know if it is criminal. Sure, they know it's criminal because they're the crooks. They're the ones selling the lie. They're the ones putting forth that they don't know anything. The spokesperson goes on to say, but I will tell you that is irresponsible. Well, yes, it is irresponsible that you're lying to the American people, Mick. Please, this is 2024, not 1944, 1954, 64, name your decade. This is the age of information. We are not stupid people. Here in the military side, we are just as frustrated with the irresponsible nature of this activity. Oh yeah, they're frustrated, all right. And they should be. The people, American people, have had enough of this obfuscation. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I told you what Spirit said regarding this to me through tarot. That's a combination of both NHI and our U.S. government working hand in hand on some sort of psyops. For what purpose? What comes next after they determine whatever they want to determine from this experiment. I don't know, and I guess we'll find out together, or perhaps we can all dig into this and ask our guides to shed some light on this. I got a little bit of light on it, and if any of you can add to that light, I would be happy to hear from you. And speaking of light, I had the lovely opportunity last night, December 13th, to collaborate with Tanya Stingley, a psychic out of Las Vegas, who graciously invited me to be on her show. It was a blast. And be sure to check it out on her channel. And also, I want to welcome the new subscribers out there from Tanya. I hope you find my content useful. In the near future, I will be doing a live episode. I've never gone live, but I will. I will be glad to answer any questions from Spirit. And just stay tuned, and I appreciate all of you all out there. And as always, don't let the darkness in this world blind you. Don't let the darkness in this world cripple you. Rather, let your light shine, even if it's just as simple as opening a door for a stranger, or suppressing the urge to flip someone off on the freeway, or in your travels when they cut you off. Instead, say a little prayer for them or smile. That's a way of adding light into this world, and it makes a difference. Until next time, I'm Johnny Consciousness.